days of the week doing what we do right
Right.
now, March 25th. And today we are talking about cruises in the new Corona time. I wanted to give some, well, before we start, some housekeeping information. We've been getting a lot of responses. People are, I guess, happy with what we're doing, inviting more people into the group. Thank you. I would appreciate it if you can even send it to more of your colleagues to join. Just make sure that you are sending it to travel agents only. It's a little hard to make sure that everyone's a real agent if it's not under a profile. We're trying to do one webinar a day, one Facebook Live a day with agents. And also on Friday, we will actually have a supplier Facebook Live with ALG, with the Apple Leisure Group. So I'm going to post information about it. And also on tomorrow's webinar, Facebook Live. I guess we're ready to start. Let me see. I haven't seen it. Is it live? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Just making sure. I haven't seen any comments or information yet. So today we have Effie. Effie is our cruise queen, my colleague with my same with the host, Travel Planners International. Effie,
Hey, everyone.
introduction. Yes.
Awesome. So, just to tell you a little bit about myself, I have been selling travel for about 25 years, a little over 25 years. And my niche is cruises. So I do sell everything, but probably 75% of my business is cruises. So I'm pretty well versed in that. And as we know, the environment has changed tremendously. So it's been a fun couple of weeks out there, I would say, to say the least. I said to Roy today, I said, I think we're in our second phase of hell, because of the global suspension for another 30 days. And then our situation with Alaska, that the Alaska season won't start until July, which, did put a damper on things. So just want to kind of chat about, you know, that the cruise industry, it's going to come back. We're all in this together. If we band together, we're going to get through this, and we're going to be stronger than ever. I think it's really going to help with the future cruise credits. It was great that the cruise lines protected us, right, on our commissions, and that we get to recoup some more commissions with the FCCs. So and those that don't know, FCCs are future cruise certificates or credits.
Effie, for some of the agents that don't necessarily focus on cruises, but maybe have one or two bookings and they're not sure of what's going on, can you tell us the status of the cruise lines? Who's working, who's not? When are they supposed to open?
Yeah, so right now the only announcement's been made for the Royal Caribbean brand, which is Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Azamara. They have suspended operations again another 30 days until I believe it's May 12th. That, and that's globally. Their ships aren't going. And then they've also announced, because of the situation in Canada where they closed the ports there, that they are suspending operations to Alaska until July. It's weird because you see July 1st and you see July 3rd. So it's sometime. Do you know that
I guess
answer,
it
Roy?
depends. It depends on the actual start of saying. So July 1st is Wednesday. I think most cruises normally leave on the Wednesday, so on the Saturday, Sunday. So I think depending on the company, they just said we're going to start April 3rd, 4th, 5th, again depending on when the sailing is. And of course, when you said Canada is closing, that also means New England sailings. So everything out of New York going into New England, that's out as well. It's not really the season. We don't have too many of them early in the year, but still, these are canceled as well. And if I'm not mistaken, Princess also announced from the very start that they are also not going to operate until May.
May. Yeah. Now we haven't heard from Norwegian. They fall like dominoes. It's typically in effect that, we're going to hear something soon, I'm sure. There's been some emails that have gone that Carnival's going to make their decision March 27th, so on Friday. So we'll know more about what Carnival's doing. Carnival has already canceled all their European sailings for the year, so they are not going to Europe. So we're waiting on Norwegian and a couple of the other lines, the river cruise ships and things like that. I think they're gone through May as well. So they had already announced that previously.
Right. Um, so what happened if I had a group, if I had a booking on a cruise that got canceled and it's still live? I haven't done anything. What are my options now? What can I do? What do you recommend your clients?
Okay, here's what I'm telling clients, and you become a superstar, right? So I had a client probably cancel a cruise with me about 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks ago, she would have gotten a future cruise credit, right? That, you know, theoretically, she would have gotten that. And I told her, I said, let's wait, let's wait. She's like, no, no, I want to cancel. Well, I did not cancel her cruise. And the cruise line canceled the cruise. So I called her and told her that, you know, you're going to love me because now instead of getting 100% cruise credit, you can either get 125% cruise credit or a full refund. So she basically said, Effie, that's why I use you. You take care of me. So those are ways that you can take care of your clients. So speaking of Royal and Celebrity right now, pretty much the same as their first suspension, that they're offering 125% future cruise credit, um, or a full refund. And something new that they're offering is if you've booked any internet, beverage package, shore excursions, dining packages on board, and you've already purchased those, you can opt to take that as 125% cruise credit as an onboard credit. Does that make sense? So, or they can request a refund. So right now, that's what we're looking at, and
That's
of
with
course,
the Royal Group.
with the Royal Group,
Okay.
yes. Norwegians is a little bit different. Um, their offerings are a little bit different. And I'm sorry, Roy, I don't have it right in front of me, but I know if you book by April 10th with Norwegian Cruise Lines, they're giving you 20% off.
Right.
And then depending on where the sailing fell, you were given like a 50% more credit or a 25% more credit.
Right. You either got 100, the sailings that were, I think they canceled March 13th. So if you had a cruise leaving March 14th until the 20th, like really last minute cruises, you got 150% back. If it was until April 10th, now until May 12th, you get 125% back. And then if you utilize that credit, the future cruise credit, by April 10th, you can get another 20%. Now, the way that it works, you go into their system, you have to go on the Norwegian system, you input their latitude number, and the system will automatically recognize it and they will give them 20%. You'll see it in the price programs. So they'll qualify for whatever promotion that is out there right now, plus, which is, I think, like all the four benefits, $100 onboard credit, and then their additional 20% off. It can be, I think it's a good way to try and get people to start thinking about utilizing their credit. They are getting a good benefit. Think about it: 20% extra credit plus another 20%. It's if you're thinking of traveling ever again, it's a good deal, and that helps maybe change the conversation with your clients to let's start booking again. Let's start looking at travel. Um, Susan is asking a question: if the FCC was applied but client booked new cruise, They would like to apply the FCC as deposit, but it says no because it was before the March of 18. What cruise line are we talking about? What I know is if someone canceled the cruise, once the client cancels the cruise, that's what Effie was saying. Once a client canceled the cruise, they accept the current policy. So if the current policy is you get 100% back, or you don't get a refund, or that's it. They locked that specific offer. If they wait and the cruise gets canceled, it's similar to what we talked about yesterday with airlines. If you wait until the actual product is canceled, you have more power versus the supplier. You get more perks. So just talk them off the ledge. Just wait a little bit. It doesn't make any difference if they cancel now or they cancel 48 hours before the actual cruise. Try and get as much perks or options. Remember that with most of the cruise lines, I think all of them, correct me if I'm wrong, Effie, but you get the commission for the cruise that was canceled or the original one, plus you will get a commission on the new cruise that was booked.
Yep, that's
So
right.
it's okay. We try to encourage them not to cancel, right? Because it's more to them, but you're getting commission on the old and the new. So try and sell it. We're still trying to survive and sell. If you're looking at next summer, I saw MSC Cruises posted their 2021 and 2022 schedule already. I haven't seen it with the others. I wish they would, because some of these credits are available until the end of 2022. So once they start posting their schedule for 2 years from now, people will start booking.
Yeah. So, and how Roy kind of explained how you, if you're new to this, and even with Royal and Celebrity, you can request. So, if you do nothing to the reservation, they'll automatically get the 125%. And again, we're talking the Royal brand, Royal Celebrity Azamara. They'll automatically get the 125% future cruise credit. You don't have to do anything. But if you want to request a full refund, that can be done in Cruising Power. So when you log into Cruising Power, on the top, it'll say in an alert box. You click on the alert box and scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there will be to request the refund for the customer. So, that's how you would take care of that. Um, but again, try to hold them off as much as possible, because like Roy said, you have a little bit better negotiating power. Um, and then the other thing is, ask your customer, once you've let them know that this has happened, are you planning to do this trip in the future? You know what I mean? Do you want to book that Alaska for next year? You know what I mean? Let's start looking at it, because you got to remember, all these people are going to be displaced this year. They're going to be booking for next year. So you'll want to make sure, that you're asking that question, because remember, guys, these clients can take that future cruise credit and go anywhere with it. So you want to make sure that you have a list. Like, I'm going to see if I can show you my list here. Not that it matters the list, but I'm trying to keep organized. And so here's my, report here. And I've made notes on everything. So I will go back through this. So the future cruise credits are taking about 30 days. Um, so here's another good thing to bring up. So I have a client that was supposed to cruise in March, but wants to actually go in May again. So his future cruise credit isn't available. And of course, his May final payment is due right now. And so the customer either has to put a deposit down or pay in full for that reservation and wait for the future cruise credit and then move it over, then they refund the credit card. But the problem is, a lot of a lot of customers, they don't want to do that. So you're having to wait about 30 days to get these future cruise credits. So probably in about 2 weeks time period, I'm going to go back through, my list here, and I'm going to say, hey, Mrs. Verano, listen, I know you wanted to take that Alaska cruise. Let's take a look at next year. What are your dates? And see if she's you got to kind of, the situation is so fluid. You've got to, things are going to change daily. If 2 weeks isn't the right time and we've just had 8,000 people die, well, then, you kind of got to tweak your system a little bit. But you definitely want to follow up on these cruise credits because they can either use them direct or with another travel agent.
Um, Diane is saying that a lot of lines are not allowing you to use the FCCs on already booked sailing. I personally tried it on Norwegian and on Royal Caribbean and on MSC, and I had no problem utilizing a future cruise credit on an existing booking. Um,
Yes.
with Norwegian, it's really easy. You go on the coupons, you click, and it works. With MSC, you have to call. With I know with Royal, what they were saying is the system can't accept the FCC as a deposit, so you have to pay, and then you will get the money back, even if it's a non-refundable deposit. They will give you the money back. That's what they said. Um,
Which makes no sense, but unfortunately, that's the way their system works.
Yeah, they
Now,
have to pay the deposit out of pocket in Royal because that's what they're saying. The Cruising Power Espresso can't handle it. But again, if you are talking to your clients and they have the FCC, if you pay, apply the FCC, cancel same day, there's 100% certainty that the client will just see a plus and a minus on their statement. They won't really have to pay for it. If they're using a credit card, not a debit, it'll just hit their account and just reverse itself within a few days. I don't think they have anything to worry about. Again, I understand people already paid $5,000. They don't want to give another 500 to the airline, to the cruise line, but that's something that you need to assure them. As an agent, if you want to take that risk, or not a risk, because I don't think it's a risk, but if I had a client that doesn't want to do it, I would maybe consider putting my own card for that 500 and then getting it back, because it's pretty much, again, plus and minus. Just make sure, double check with the BDM, Sam, whatever they're called, with the reservation, to make sure that they will apply the refund as soon as you charge it, and that's it. We're trying to be creative. We're trying to see what we can do to save
retain the
that
business.
sell. Again, you said with Royal, you have options. You have to you could do it on their site, or you have to
Yes.
call.
Nope, you can do it right on Cruising Power. It works.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
With
So,
Norwegian, I understood that you can also cancel, or if you want to apply for a refund, there's a link. I know with MSC, there's a link that you click on it, and then you have to choose whether it's a refund or a credit. I had a situation with one of my agents clicked by mistake credit and not a refund. We reached out to them, they canceled it, and we had to reapply. So even if you make that mistake, just reach out to your BDM or reach out to them. They'll be able to reverse it. They're not doing the refunds that fast. It does take 60, 90 days. I don't know how long it would take. They're probably getting tens of thousands of requests for vouchers, for credits, for refunds. So everything is going to take a little while. Make sure that your clients are aware of the time frame so they won't bug you every week. Let me see. So unfortunately, some cruise lines, especially the smaller ones, they can't afford protecting the original reservation, the commission, and the future one. It's honestly, they're losing. Think about the amount of money that they're losing, that they have to pay each and every day for the ships that are at sea. They still have employees on the ship, and payroll. I heard United Airlines has a cost of $155 million every day on payroll. So every day that the airline is in business and making zero money, they're paying $155 million every day. Think about it, how much money these suppliers, these cruise lines, airlines are actually losing. And for them to give us the commission on the canceled booking and on the future, it's something that we need to be thankful for. Not all of them, unfortunately, can do that.
Yeah. So there's a someone asking, so if we moved in Alaska NCL a few weeks ago, before the FCCs came out, we are out of luck getting more for our clients. The answer to that is yes. Unfortunately, I have a client that's very upset about that. She canceled 2 days before the cruise lines canceled, and they're giving her a future cruise credit, but she wants a refund or the 125%. And unfortunately, NCL is not offering, they are not protecting. And I think Celebrity, Royal, all these cruise lines are being very strict on these cancellations, and they're not letting you go back. And, it does stink, but at that moment, that's why they use us as travel advisors, is that telling them, like Roy said, it doesn't matter if you've booked, if you wait, quick cancel it now or 48 hours before, depending on the cruise line. So 48 hours for the Royal brand. I think it's 3 days for Carnival, right? Am I right about
Yeah, I
that?
think so.
So, you just need to be out there advising your customers. And then someone also asked if there's a group. Do you submit the FCC or the refund the same way? You do. And, I hate that it doesn't have names on here, but whoever asked that question, check your spam, because my verifications are coming to my spam. So if you submit it for Royal or Celebrity or Azamara, they send you a receipt, but it is going to spam. So check that.
Okay. And Suzanne was asking if someone uses a future cruise credit and then decides not to go on that cruise. It's a future cruise credit. It depends on the policy, but it'll go back. If you're not in penalty, then it goes back. If it's in penalty, then they still have the peace and mind policy or the cancel up to 48. So they'll receive a new future cruise credit for the new amount. Which is also something that we can maybe utilize. Again, just remember that the policies now are really flexible. They can cancel and not lose anything up to 48 hours or 72, a few days prior to the sailing.
Yeah. So I wanted to touch. Oh, do you have
Yeah,
something?
I see another question regarding trying to get a non-refundable deposit back on a Celebrity for July. Well, again, the only non-refundable deposits that they are giving back, it's if the cruise got actually canceled. So but what they are doing right now, if you are before final payment and you're canceling a booking that has a non-refundable deposit, you will get a future cruise credit for the non-refundable amount. So again, they are not losing any money. Look, they purchased something that is non-refundable. They were not supposed to get the money back at all. The cruise line is giving them 100% back as future cruise credit to use for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the term is of the. So just explain it to the clients. If they're afraid to go, they don't want to make the final payment, cancel, get the future cruise for the amount of deposit that they paid, and they can transfer it to the future cruise.
Right. And guys, we have people calling, asking about a cruise that's in July, and maybe their final payment is due a month from now, right? And they're saying, what's happening? I think the best thing to tell them is wait. Guys, this is a very fluid situation. We're in unprecedented times. And let's just wait. Tell them to hold on and wait, because at the end of the day, they can make an informed decision then. They don't have to make a decision now. And then you just offer to them what the cruise line is offering, whether it's the 48 hours, whether it's the 72 hours, the future cruise credits, and then let them make the best decision for them and their family.
And again, remember, it's something that you need to consider. We're always pushing for everyone, the suppliers, everyone are pushing for rebook, don't cancel. It's to your benefit that you reschedule and not cancel. look, if someone wants a refund and they're eligible for a refund, try and explain to them the benefit, the 25%, the extra whatever they're offering. If they don't want it, yes, apply for a refund. I personally had too many bookings for this year that I had to cancel. Some I kept as credit, some I canceled. I even called and they said, "Are you sure you don't want to?" Like I have probably 5 already on hold. I can't. There is no way. Probably in 2 years, I can't use them all. So if it doesn't make sense, if someone lost their job, they want their money and refund. Okay, if they can afford holding that $2,000, $3,000 as a family for next year, think about some people putting money in their stock market. You're going to make 25%, 30%, 40% pure profit if you put the money with the cruise lines.
Yeah,
So
I said to one of my clients, where can you go right now and make 25% of your money? I said, and I do the calculation for them. So, some people are like, I'm a visual person. So if you told me 125% and you've got a $5,000 cruise, you know what I mean? And you tell them you're getting X amount back additional, they're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? And they're like, very shocked, and you're right. Maybe I should just keep it with the cruise line. And like Roy said, if they don't need it because they've lost their job or something, the best thing is to keep it, with the cruise line.
And if you got $1,000 future cruise credit, or 5,000 or 10,000, and you only have a $5,000 cruise, the remaining balance remains as future cruise credit. They can take 2 cruises.
Yeah.
It's just it is per person, the way that they do it. Again, depending on the cruise lines, the way that they do it, but it can be applied to 2 cruises.
Yeah. And something, guys, that I learned, I think I knew it, but it got refreshed to me. I had a client, I want to just give you a quick understanding. So, how they're doing the future cruise credits, let's say you have a quad and you had 2 adults and 2 children. As you know, the children pay a lesser amount, right? And with the BOGO 60, you might have one person paying $1,000 and the other one paying $400, and then 200, 200. Well, how they're doing the future cruise credit is they're just dividing that among the 4 people. So this became a problem for me, and I want to share because it might become a problem for you. I had an 8-year-old and a 6-month-old. So the client's pissed now because she can't use her future cruise credit because it doesn't. Do you understand? Like, so Mary has $576, and her son John has $576, but their cruise that they're rebooking is only $300. So these kids and the mom and dad have used their cruise credit, right? So now what's Mary and John going to do with this extra $100 cruise credit? So I was initially told by someone at Royal Caribbean that, I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. But if you know Effie, Effie doesn't take no for an answer. So I went higher and did find out that if you go through the right channels, you can transfer the cruise credit. So right now I'm going through the process of having the 2 kids' cruise credit transferred to mom and dad.
Okay.
So the additional, so that can happen.
That's good. I know with Norwegian, they're actually giving the credit per person based on the original amount that was paid,
Oh,
and
that's
not just
awesome.
dividing the big amount to 4 or whatever. So per person according to what they paid. But it's good that it's a possibility with Royal to do it. It just makes sense. I'm sure they will adjust many of these rules and regulations. It's all new territory for everyone.
Yeah.
Diane is asking if clients will lose the onboard credit they receive from booking on board for sailing. So every promotion that you had on the original reservation is lost. Would you only get the new promotion? But the new prices and the new promotions, they're pretty good. I've seen, because we had to readjust a few bookings for this year. Hopefully they'll still go, but I saw prices drop in the thousands. So they are getting a much better price than they had before, plus the 25% or whatever they're offering. Yes, they will lose some of their onboard credit. They'll probably gain a lot more with the new promotions.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any other questions? Because I want to touch on something.
Um, sh- um, Sherry's asking. We've had that conversation with a few people asking if a cruise line will actually be in business. Mostly, they said Norwegian. Um, I I'm not a I don't normally, I'm not a finance guy. I don't normally do stocks, but I went into, I guess, again, having a lot of free time. I went into financial reports for the three major cruise lines and United specifically, and decided to invest in them a little bit. I can tell you the Norwegian Cruise Line stock went up 40% yesterday. And last time I checked today, they were up another like 20%. I don't 22% from this morning. So I'm not sure what's going on. Um, these companies do have money, a lot of money in their account. Royal Caribbean delayed the Allure of the Seas refurbishment, which was $165 million, and then canceled the Explorer of the Seas, which was another $110 million. They can cancel one of the ships that is in the books. That will give them another, what, 20, $40 million, or $100 million. I don't know how much each ship costs. They Royal Caribbean got a $2.2 billion loan 2 days ago. These are really strong companies. They survived. Royal was $8 a share in 2009, and they went up to 135. Again, it's not a recommendation to buy any stocks, but these are strong companies. Same with airlines. People are talking about, if one of these big companies go bankrupt, uh, a lot of people, the town of San Francisco, town of New York, all of the police officers, the teachers, everyone's 401ks is invested in some of these companies. A lot of people will go bankrupt. That's why the government is thinking and considering giving them, I don't know, $2 trillion, to numbers that we can't even think about. It's again, no one is too big to fail. And we talked about yesterday, if the company that you booked with does go under, you do have options with your credit card company, with insurance that you bought. Hopefully, bankruptcy of suppliers is normally covered with a lot of policies, not all of them. So check your policy. It is something, if people are afraid, you can tell them something, but to try and assure them. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and they want to get a refund, it's their right. That's their option.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing any. I don't understand Susan saying about Royals stock.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not seeing the messages anymore for some reason, so you're got to tell me.
um, and Sherry's asking if the onboard credit with the RCCL is due to next cruise, they get to keep. Okay. Um, okay. So if they have, Sherry is saying that if there's a special promotion because you bought a cruise next, they'll be
Oh, a
able to
cruise on
probably
board?
utilize that booking and just change it, I guess. But they get to keep it. So again, if your client has a cruise next, something that they bought online, something that they bought on the ship while cruising, reach out to Royal Caribbean and see. It's possible that they will be able to get future onboard credit on the new sailing.
Yeah.
Effie, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so I want to touch on something that might be a little edgy, and I push the envelope a little bit sometimes. The big thing I was reaching out to the BDMs is that some of us actually have customers that are ready to book. Like they find out that the cruise is canceled and they want to rebook it, but what we've been finding is that the pricing is sometimes double of what they paid this year for next year. And they booked during a time, whether it was the Veterans Day promotion where they got 4 perks or 3 perks, and there's just nothing going on. Like, I think the cruise lines and revenue are just trying to, you know, get through every day, and they're not really paying attention. So there is a promotion that's out. I'm going to grab it real quick here.
Susan, for your question about what Royal stock is doing today, Royal stock is up from the morning at 25.24%. The stock is trading at $43.17. It was $20 just 3 days ago. I think I bought it at 22, and now it's $43. So I doubled my money on Royal. Again, not a stock recommendation.
You're a broker now.
I really told you so. But if you are buying stocks, it will increase everyone else's. But I'm just you make your decision, regarding what you want to invest. Go ahead, Effie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So always keep an eye out, guys, to Celebrity Commitment and Royal to You Always. That's where you can find the latest promotions. So currently, and I know I'm kind of putting this up, but this is on Celebrity Commitment. This started on March 24th, yesterday. And basically, the booking window is from March 24th to April 15th for sailings from May 5th through May 3rd, 2022. So, yay, because usually it's just this small window. So, they're offering $200 off per cabin for Inside and Ocean View. This is Celebrity. $400 for Veranda, Concierge, and Aqua, and then $1,000 for suites. So, and guess what? It's combinable with groups. So, if you happen to have a group, or your agency or host agency has a group, this promotion is applicable in groups. And so you get the two perks, and then you get the discount. And guess what, Roy? It's refundable.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so these are refundable deposits, which when they ran this promotion earlier in the year, as you know, this was all non-refundable. So it is refundable. So think about this, when you're telling your client, because at the end of the day, guys, your client is relying on you to tell them when the best time to reschedule, because they were excited about this trip. They want to reschedule, but you have to give them the assurance that they need to reschedule. So Roy and I, before we jumped on, I want to kind of backtrack 2 seconds. On Friday, Royal Caribbean will come out with their promotion. Let me tell you, it's an instant savings offer that will come out on Friday. So if you have anybody wanting to book, maybe hold out a little bit, because they're going to put out another promotion for Royal. Just FYI about that. But before we came on, we were talking about the sensitivity of marketing and how that looks in the marketplace right now. So for me personally, I reach out to my customers every single week. So every single week, they were either getting, prior to the coronavirus, they were getting, of course, sales things from me or my newsletter. But now, I've kind of been more sensitive to that and have been, sending out, things about the coronavirus. This week I sent out recipes and, ideas of, how they can deal with their kids at home. But it's all about staying connected with your customer, because you don't want them to take their business somewhere else in the midst of all this. So, another agent friend of ours just decided, for the heck of it, let's send something out and see how it feels like to the consumer. And he got a really, really good response. So I think even for myself, next week I'm going to do something, kind of like, are you dreaming about a trip, in 2021, or are you dreaming about, what the fall is going to look like? I don't know. That's why I hire someone for that stuff. I'm not good at the subject line, but we're going to kind of put it out there and see how it feels. Of course, we're going to wait and see, what happens in the world in next week. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But if things are like it is now, I think I'm going to put it out there. So I just wanted to let you guys know, keep your eyes out. Royal to You Always, Celebrity Commitment. That's where the deals are. And, maybe trying to promote a little bit to your customers and let them know, hey, this is a good time to book Celebrity because they're offering this promotion.
Right. And if you don't feel comfortable just, posting on Facebook when everyone's talking about Corona and people dying, talking about cruises and worried about the backlash, just you could do it in an email. You can use some of the system that you have. If you send a newsletter, talk about other things, and then on the bottom say, you know what, it is, utilizing, same as people buy stocks that are low right now. The market is down. People are buying stocks. The cruise line prices and vacations and airlines, everything is cheaper now. If you buy now, you'll save for the future. Um, and and what everyone is offering right now is the assurance that if you want, you can cancel. You will not lose anything. It's safe. Safe before final payment. Safe even again up to 48 hours before the sailing. We are going to talk about land packages further, like this week as well, and you'll see the only way that these suppliers, tour operators, cruise lines, airlines are going to survive is to let people know that if they put money in and purchase, they won't lose anything. It's secured. They can get a refund. They can get a credit. Nothing is lost.
Right. And Roy, this just actually came to my head. You know how we're always told not to sell out of our pocket, right? I think a lot of us, I feel like talking with about coronavirus is similar to talking religion or politics, right? You've got that person that absolutely will not leave their house, right? And they will only leave to go to the grocery store, do these things. Then you have the people that are supporting local businesses, and maybe wherever you are in your state, they have takeout. And people are saying, oh my God, these people are so happy that you're buying from them, and so grateful that you've come in. And then you've got someone on Facebook, like Roy said, just bashing the heck out of them, saying, how can you be so irresponsible, and how can you know what I mean, how can you go out in public, and how do you eat food that you don't know, and well, lady says she got takeout and Clorox the whole thing down.
You know what?
So
And my wife's a nurse, so right now we're not eating anything that was cooked out. But we did call some of the restaurants. We got some gift cards from local businesses. Hopefully, they'll be in business. But you're trying to help the community. I made some posts about book with a travel agent. Don't book with an unknown website. We all know these posts about if you book with a local agency, you will get back money into the community. If you buy something from Expedia or whatever, you're just buying another Porsche or another house for the executives over there. So just work on that. You don't have to promote travel. Promote what you're offering, the benefit, the service, and then people will just reach out to you. They'll call you. They'll talk to you, and then you can be um, then you could feel comfortable talking about the actual cruise when when the floods are open, and then you're already talking personal stuff. Someone said that they rebooked 2 cabins with a celebrity for Alaska. Yeah, there's good promotions. I
yeah,
booked
so
I
people,
booked Norwegian Bliss, I think, for next year summer for a family, Alaska. Yeah, again, promotions are out there. Make sure to use them, because otherwise, I'm sorry to say it, but the cruise lines, they're all personal consultants. They'll eventually they will try. They might try and poach your clients. I'm sorry to say.
they
Again,
do
this is
already.
an agent group and not, that's why we don't have suppliers on the group. Some of them, there's some people that are also, they work for commission. They have your client's information, email, phone number. They will reach out to try and get them to utilize. If you don't do it, if you won't reach your clients, they might. You could still transfer the booking if you caught it on time, but if not, you will lose it. You'll just lose it. So just make sure, protect your investment, protect your clients. Um, that's
Yeah.
that's um, that's pretty much it for now. I'm not seeing any more
Okay.
questions. Anything that you want to summarize before I summarize?
Yeah. Well, I just say the biggest thing that you should get out of this is just, knowing what the cruise lines are offering. And you can find that on their websites. Follow up with your clients, with the FCCs, keep organized, right? It's so important in our job, is to be organized and have that list of people that you need to follow up with. It's very similar to if you spend $600 on a wedding booth, right? At a wedding show, and you get, 500 leads, but you don't follow up with them, and you thought, oh my God, I just spent $600. I got nothing from this wedding show. So you've got to follow up. It's part of our job is to follow up. And I would say, your clients. I mean, I say your clients, but you don't know how they feel about this virus. And I think you should, stay in front of them. And, when the time is right for you and your business is to go out there and, let them know that the promotions are there and that, like Roy said, it's safe to book. You're not under, any penalties right now. I think through July, they've waived the penalties. So, there's no fear in, booking at this point. And I just sometimes think we get in our heads, Roy, that the way we feel about what's going on is the way everyone feels what's going on. And there's a lot of people out there that don't have the same feeling as me or the same feeling as you. And so you can't always, put a thermometer on that. So I would say the biggest thing is just to know what to offer your clients, when to offer it, and to follow up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're trying to keep it positive and see when the market rebounds. It will rebound for sure eventually. And we're going to be there. The people who are here and trying to still learn and see how to adjust to the new market, which is actually one of the sessions that we're going to try and do this week about how to approach clients and how to actually sell in this environment. Tomorrow we are also going to do a Disney session. About what's going on with Disney, with the changes, cancellations, and in general. We have an ALG, Apple Leisure Group. We're going to have two representatives from Apple Leisure Group talking about um, everything that's going on and what you can do to protect yourself and help your clients. Um, that's pretty much it. If anyone has any requests, if you want to be here on live with me, like my friend Effie, please reach out to me if you have a subject. I'm trying to do one a day. If we can reach even twice a day, that would be great to keep everyone occupied. We've had,
Learning.
I think 400 people saw the video yesterday, which is great, and we had over 100 people join the group in the last 3 days. So I'm glad people are appreciating this. Hopefully soon we won't have time to do these anymore, and we'll be busy booking. But thank you everyone for attending, for sending questions. Feel free to post more information. The more information that you add, updates, will make sure that all of us um, are better informed and help our clients. So again, thank you, Effie. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Roy.
I'll see everyone tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.